Jesus and, Christ consciousness and all of that kind of stuff. So it's the idea of trying to completely immerse yourself in love, or that more ideological concept of love, not love of acceptance, but love of everything being right, moralistically and pure. Remember, white's often associated with purity, even though it's not, but whatever. So that's that extreme way. And it's usually the people who do that are either they're afraid of just life in general, or they're just they're kind people. They don't want to harm anyone, but they don't see the full picture, right? And then we go to the dark side folks. And the dark side folks are the ones where it's like, I don't care. I will harm someone. It doesn't matter. I'm untouchable because I'm a cult. I am Satan, like that kind of like vibe. Like they're like real hard on it, like Cthulhu, every like, I am the villain, I'm the Joker, that kind of like interesting vibe, change my name to Harley Quinn. Yeah. And finding power in the villain, finding power in the one that's feared. And so kind of getting stuck in that side. And, there isn't a story without both. But for some reason, there's that whole group and that whole facet where they really get caught up on the dark side. So that's typically associated with black magic. The horrible connotation of that, of course, is that black magic also got somehow looped into the practices of voodoo, hoodoo, and anything that black people do, which we all know isn't black magic. But that's essentially that's what this whole like thing did. And so that meant people were more afraid of it. So that meant the teachers, spiritual teachers who started to come out in the 90s, 80s, who were really trying to push it, they were trying to get people not afraid of blackness or black magic. But now here we are, and we're in a state now where I think, one, if you don't want to be insecure about your blackness, you have no reason to be, right? There's all the information you have access to. You can be the most blackity black person in the world. You can have all the confidence in your blackness. That's what you want. If you don't want to be ignorant towards other cultures, you don't have to be, right? You have all the access to that. If you want to understand what it means to be like Aztec or Mayan or Incan because you come from Central America in that area, you can get all that information now. So you don't have to fall into what Hollywood has said about your culture. If you are native and you have those native roots, you don't have to look at all these other poor concepts, or even the whitewashing of your culture, because we know that's happened where sometimes you'll see people that were like, I'm native, and you just looking at a whole bunch of white people. We know that we have all the access to that information now. It's there, it's available. So now we're at this point because we've hit that strong, we're like comfortable in the information age that we don't have to be ignorant to magic. We don't have to be ignorant to all these things. So now it's like, okay, we don't have to be ignorant to these things. We don't have to be ignorant about our history. Black people, we don't have to think, oh gosh, who are we? Where are we? We have a strong enough back information that's out there where we know who we are. We know, yes, a good portion of us were here before slavery. We already know that. Like, we don't have to, it's there. The information is out there. Yes, some of us, of course, came over through slavery. Yes, most of us have West African roots, right? We know that as well. So of course, ATRs are not a stretch for us. And no, it's not black magic. Like, we get it, right? So so now it's like, okay, well, what do you practice? Like, what do you do? Like, what is your actual work? And so to me, that's when critical thinking comes into play, right? Like, we have all the information now, and now you don't have to be so caught up in, you get that one, Christianity is just a thought, it's just a concept that's used for, it's a power structure that you can use, you don't have to use. You can get that, black magic is not just it was pretty much this big call to find more power against another power structure. So now you have these two extremes of black and white. And so, like, what do we really do, and where's our path? And so to me, that's where that idea of the gray path is. So you have what's called the left-hand path, and the left-hand path was essentially the concept of being into the occult, right? The occult, what is hidden. But we're in a space now where things just aren't hidden. They're not hidden. Yes, tell people, some just don't want to take that step, but we